was very cold and computer-like.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, here we are, Dallas. It's an honor. Thank you for your time and so good to connect. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yep, feeling good.
Good. The family and I have been diving deep into your lockdown tunes and now your solo tunes. How's that all going?
It's going good. Yeah, it's happening really organically, and yeah, lots of great opportunities have come about. I've only done one release so far, No Flowers. I did it a couple of months ago, and
It's so beautiful, man. Well
thank
done.
you. Thanks, man. Yeah.
Mm.
Now, lots of great opportunities, and just a really good feeling of just feeling quite creatively fulfilled at the moment, thanks to that project and a few other things that I've done just during lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Your lockdown jams have been so impressive, and like we were diving deep into Hope, which is one of Fat Freddy's oldest songs, isn't it? That you've kind of brought back
Absolutely.
in, and so that kind of live jam of that where you're looping, is that done just kind of one take right on the spot, or?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, yeah, it is absolutely. That take itself is just one take, but I took a day or so just to work out what I was going to do in it. So
cool.
Yeah, the first couple of times I ran through it, just freestyling it and just refined it a wee bit, just kind of how I wanted it to flow. I mean, I think the original version, when I first started putting together the remix, it was like 20 minutes, and it's just a wee bit too long. So I just really wanted to condense it more than anything, so that I could get to some of the, just cover the whole song, really.
Awesome, man. And your lyrics are incredible. And I'd love to kind of pick apart your process for songwriting. You were just away on a little songwriting trip, weren't you?
Yeah.
And I mean, Hope and Dark Days, you got some really deep, all-encompassing songs that really go into some beautiful places in a hopeful way and in a kind of process, kind of sad way, but in a really beautiful, like, consciousness exploring way. And I'd love to know, like, how that has come about in your life. Have you had like great influences? Do you have a kind of spiritual or religious practice, or are you just a soulful dude?
Yeah, I guess before I came to music, as a kid, I'd write quite a few stories. So, I was quite into storytelling and would just make up stories and stuff like that. So, I mean, from the beginning, I really enjoyed the process of writing and the form of stories, and was quite something that I picked up quite early on, just, beginning and a middle and an end, the form of a writing, of writing a story. So, but always was drawn to great lyrics. But I really didn't start writing seriously until around 1999. And yeah, a friend of mine, a guy called Hamish Clark, who's also a musician, it really was, he was an amazing lyric writer. He actually wrote a few things for me early on when I was starting music. So yeah, he was a great influence on me, and he was just a local musician. He was actually an MC, a hip hop artist. So a lot of his lyrics came from rap and hip hop. So, but yeah, I guess as far as influences go, he was a huge influence, and he was kind of the guy. He was quite harsh. bit of a taskmaster, and when it came to lyrics and stuff, he ended up being like a university lecturer.
Right.
So, English, and the English, it it was kind of all of that stuff was kind of second nature to me at the time, but I really I really thirsted for it. I really wanted to learn a lot about good lyrics. Anyway, so as far as the content of as far as putting together lyrics, I had this influence there. He was a bit of a taskmaster. He wrote amazing lyrics. He was he was an intellectual type person. I wasn't, I didn't do very well at school myself. So he really taught me a lot about that stuff. And yeah, I guess in the early days before I even started writing music, I was interested in writing and stories. And then once, I kind of took off and began writing music for myself and writing songs. I've always been the quiet guy, quite shy and quite introverted, and work well by myself. So, a lot of those lyrics that you're talking about are introspective and, definitely searching for answers within myself and finding out, always pushing for ways to better myself mentally and, emotionally, spiritually. All these things are, the topics in my songs, but I tend to try and make it so that it's not too self-indulgent. And so bringing it back to the people is always really important. And I guess me also being a performer and, having that connection with crowds and with people, it's important for me to connect with other people. So
yeah, well, you do. It's powerful. I've been watching you since your kind of solo days, just before Fat Freddy's drop, and then watching you in the band live, and it's really cool watching your journey and hearing your journey. And yeah, you definitely, that's part of the magic of those shows, is that connection. You are like a poet, like a shaman, really holding a strong space, taking people on a journey. And it's a beautiful thing, and I'm really digging these we've been getting back into vinyl, which has been fun, and for the kids as well, in a world where it's so easy to create a sick playlist and to have like no idea who the artist is, because we kind of just flick through it. And it's been really cool going back to analog and going on full journeys of the complete album. And we've been doing that with your work as well, with this latest Lockdown. Is it a live recording? Kind of. I mean, it looks like it.
Yeah, the lock in, I think we
Lock
called
in.
it.
Yeah.
At the end.
That's exquisite, man. It's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah. It was all recorded live at a beautiful venue in Wellington called the Michael Fowler Centre. Usually the types of shows that go on there are more symphony-based, classical music type stuff. So we just had a really amazing opportunity handed to us. And the idea behind it was for us to create a space, a comfortable space within this beautiful venue, and kind of make music like we make it in the studio. That level of comfort and that level of just to be comfortable in our own space and perform.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it turned out really good. And but what you're saying about vinyls, that's great to hear, man. Vinyls are it's a beautiful ritual, I think, that goes along with with listening to something on vinyl. The pulling out of the record and putting it down. There's something completely different about that experience.
It is.
If you've got, I don't know how old your kids are, but if they're sitting down and listening to music with you guys, man, that's amazing.
It's very cool. Yeah, one of my girls is 7, just turned 7.
Oh,
and
wow.
she's just started really appreciating music on a deeper level. And yeah, it's been really,
so cool.
really cool pulling out the record, and she'll have a read through the booklet and just feel it. It's a completely different experience, which it's really wonderful to see her like resonate deeply with it and dance and really connect on a deeper level, because they're some of my greatest memories, going to the record store and like sitting down and just going on a journey with a full album, which it seems to be great therapy, for lack of a better word, for people in general, but to install that for the younger generation, for the kids, I think is a beautiful thing, just to slow down and really tune in.
It's like you say, it's a perfect it's a perfect product, isn't it? It's a beautiful big piece of artwork that comes with the vinyl as well, so you can open it up. It's you know, colorful, and oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And so your latest song is beautiful. And how's that been for you, kind of coming back into your solo work as an independent artist?
It's been good. It's been a real learning experience, first and foremost. You know, the Fat Freddy's is well established now, and you know, the Fat Freddy's machine, once it gets working, it works really well, and really I do just become a part of that. So you know, the solo thing has been a great learning experience in that I've released it myself. It's an independent release. You know, I was involved in every aspect of it. I was involved in the writing of the video idea, or the visuals. I was you know, I was involved in the artwork, you know, just in everything. And like I said before, just creatively, I feel really fulfilled for that. You know, it's you know, it all kind of has come from me. You know, it's helped me to learn how to be more proactive, rather than just sitting back and letting other people make the decisions. Making a decision based on the vision that you have for your project. You know, that's all done by committee through Fat Freddy's. So yeah, it's been really empowering. Really, yeah, just creatively, you know, that it's really helped me break through a wee bit of things like writer's block, and you know, or you spend a lot of time waiting for decisions to be made. But yeah, I just felt like it was much more about learning how to take the initiative, and yeah, so all these things. I mean, in the project itself, No Flowers, you know, I've had so much amazing support for it, and you know, before and afterwards still. I mean, yourself is a classic example. You know, I've released it quite a long time ago, but we're talking now. So yeah, just things just keep coming, and it just continues to feel good. And you know, I'm in no hurry with my solo project either. I'm so happy to just be learning about the business and learning about the direction of my music, and the things that I have to say as a solo artist. You know, the process for me is just beginning, and it feels really good, you know.
And so beautiful, and can't help but get the vibe from the song. But can you talk about where the inspiration came from a photo, from a beautiful I recall you talking about, and it kind of comes up in the video a bit, or as you sing about it, of a mother holding a baby.
Yeah, so it was a song I started writing about a year ago. and really just finished it in lockdown. So the first idea was just a few words. It was, she's no flower, but there's beauty in her power. And it all came from a photo of a mother holding her baby in one hand, and in the other hand, you know, covered in flour, busy folding dough into to make a loaf of bread. So yeah, just this, you know, the strength it takes to handle multiple things, and how, you know, you could take those little things for granted as well. That's all part of the song, the kaupapa for the song, you know, taking just the everyday things that people do for granted. You know, there's you know, she's the backbone. She makes, everything starts with her, you know, and yeah, and it just that you know, that nature, that nurturing, that natural nurturing nature. Yeah, it's just all evident in this photo. You know, there's love there. You know, she's obviously not annoyed at all by holding the child in her hand, and she's happy to be doing that while she's doing whatever. And you know, and then there's a sequence of photos. Another one is her just turning to give her child a kiss and give her that attention, and then, you know, we carry on from there. But yeah, it was, that's where it all came from. And a lot of the time, well, you know, I don't know how it is for other songwriters, but usually it only takes a phrase or a sentence or a couple of words, and then yeah, it really just opens up sometimes if you find a good one. So that one really just opened up. And it really, you know, those ones, they never take long to write those songs. It took a wee while to finish, and I find finishing things like the second chorus, you know, if and we need to take breaks as songwriters every now and then, but you know, if you take a break and then you come back to it, and then you almost have to reconnect with the piece of music again, and sometimes that can take a while. So the end of the second chorus was quite hard for me to finish. Actually, it took quite a long time. Oh, I could show you some of the scribbles. It's like a whole book of different variations, and you know, really a lot of them are just the part of the process of getting back to the core of the song or the idea. And yeah, and it's when, so that second verse, it's when you're least expect it. Again, just like the song, the beginning of the song, when you least expect it, you know, the end of the song comes about, and then yeah, it's just, but the process has never really been easy for me. And I guess yeah, I'm a bit picky. I'm a bit hard on myself when it comes to lyrics and stuff, you know. Maybe
you seem
like,
very, very productive, though. It seems like this whole like COVID lockdown period, you've been pretty damn productive, huh?
yeah, no, it's good. I'm glad that it looks that way. But you know, I'm a full-time father at the moment. I'm looking after both my kids while my partner's holding it down at her job. And so yeah, I'm actually quite busy just being dad, and you know, coaching my son's basketball team, and you know, looking after the kids, making sure they're all good, tidying the house, making dinners.
Yeah, I hear you.
And yeah, so yeah, I'm glad it looks like that. I mean, I've just actually, you know, just got some funding to go away for 4 weeks to do some writing by myself. I'm really excited about that. So I love the dad thing, but it really, there's something about the way that I write that I write better when I don't have any distractions.
Sure.
And it is about the flow. It is about leading, again, the long process to getting those pure ideas. You know, it sometimes can take forever, and it sometimes cannot take so long. But yeah, so I'm excited. I just got some funding, and it will be 4 weeks of writing in my hometown of Kaikoura, which is on the east coast of the South Island, but small town.
Beautiful.
And I'm just going back there to isolate, well, to be by myself for a while. But, you know, and pretty much the funding will go towards helping my family at home and making sure everything's all sorted there. So, yeah, I'm excited. And, you know, 4 weeks of writing for me, it's almost like collecting food for the winter.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I just go back there with the goal to be productive and write as much as I can, you know, and just, you know, fill the pages. And these are things that I can use for, you know, the next 2 years or whatever, you know, just ideas and seeds of an idea or sparks, or, you know, just something to refer back to.
That's really cool. I'd love to know a bit of your process. So like a 4-week trip like that. You just kind of get up and get to work, or do you have a creative process to get you into the flow? I'd love to know. Or does it ebb and flow, like more of an intuitive?
Oh, no, it's definitely a routine, and I really love my routine. So, yeah, I guess waking up in the morning, as early as possible, I'll write 3 pages of just whatever is in my head, so it won't necessarily be lyrics. And then I'll do vocal exercises. I'll do those early as well, and that's just that's all part of my routine. And that's all just things that I feel comfortable getting me into the type of flow that I need. You know, with when you're doing vocal exercises, there's lots of breathing involved and a little bit of focus, but also it's about letting go, really. And that's when you make the nicest sound, is when you're letting go. So, and then some kind of exercise. Yeah, my yoga's not very good, but you know, all throughout lockdown, I was taking the family through with sun salutes. We did that every morning as a family.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, it was. We're actually not doing it at the moment, which is a real shame. But
why not?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think, you know, it's just the time thing. I think we just kind of like would wake up casually, and it would definitely be the first thing we did in the morning. But yeah, I guess it's just the time thing. So,
well, I mean, what you're describing, because I mean, you can do yoga just with sound. It's called nada yoga, and it's powerful. It's so powerful.
wow.
So what I do with my yoga is I incorporate both the physical postures and sound. So like through sound, you get a lot of energy flowing. So I'd love to know, like, inquire into your experiences, like a 4-week trip of just writing and singing. I mean, that's a yoga retreat right there.
Yeah, cool.
Like when you're going through your breathing exercises and your sound, I mean, that's yoga right there. Like on a really advanced, like deep level, probably without you even knowing it. So and it's huge for people. What I find is a lot of people get very locked up in their throat through, you know, physical tension, but also like insecurity and like being insecure about their voice. And when people learn to like just make sound, it unleashes so much freedom and creativity and confidence. So do you find like you get into some pretty transcendent, trippy, like experiences just through your process of songwriting? Does it take you on a journey, or are you just accustomed to it? It's just kind of normal.
I mean, sometimes my vocal exercises can go for, 2 hours, if it's all making sense to me, and everything's, for me, it's if the coordination is there, like if everything's working well in place, and that there in itself can be just a real meditative state. By the end of it, I feel very, very, pretty loose at the end of it.
You're probably just used to it through being a songwriter and a musician. Of it transporting.
I still feel like a student though, and I think that is my mindset. Really, that's kind of always will be my mindset, has been up to this point. And I mean, I guess that's why I take compliment. I'm not very good at taking compliments.
Yeah, you seem humility seems very abundant in you. It's a beautiful thing,
It's just we're all learning. So a friend of mine, musician, who we've worked together before. He's helped me with some vocal stuff in this last couple of weeks, and I'm still learning, trying to learn as much as I can. So yeah.
No, I hear you. Yeah. I reckon there's a few things like it'd be a fun experiment to weave in some actual yoga exercises that could potentially like take your belly power to a whole nother level, take your chest.
Wow.
Yeah, it'd be pretty interesting.
No, that will be amazing.
We should chat on your 4-week trip, and even because you're on the water, aren't you?
Yeah, right next to the water. Yeah.
I mean, have you done the cold plunge thing before?
Nah.
Oh, dude. So like, I mean, it could either just freeze your balls up to nothing, or it could take your creativity to a whole nother level, which is what I find when I first wake up, just jumping in the cold water and doing those deep breaths. It's psychedelic, and it gets your alertness to a whole new level. Could be an epic thing to do.
How long would you recommend standing in cold water for, do you think?
I mean, apparently the 8-minute mark is where a lot of the magic starts to kick in, but anything's good. A couple minutes, 4 minutes, but 8 minutes is where you it's kind of like almost like a rebirth experience in which you hit so many thresholds of like, I can't do this. And then you kind of expand into a greater awareness of what you can do.
That's the connection between the physical and the mental way. That's the
so it wakes you up on a very surface level. I mean, undeniably you have a cold experience. It wakes you up, but then like when you hang in there, like, fuck, this is uncomfortable, and you just keep going, and it's very awakening.
Okay.
Could be worth a try.
Okay.
And I mean, that water is just pristine as well. So that's what I'd be doing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. And then some like dynamic breathing, and then like get into it. You'd be set.
Well, I'm probably going to get you to send me a few things, especially on the breathing front. Definitely. I mean, a couple of the times, trainers in the past, I've had a couple of trainers that have known how to just kind of like reset me a wee bit.
Yeah, a little adjustment there.
And, definitely some kind of release was there. I remember coming home after just a little bit of work done on my shoulders and just my back, and coming home and just like doing an amazing vocal take.
Yeah.
just out of nowhere, just
Right.
like, and just, whoa, comes
Yeah.
from much lower.
Yeah.
And you're right, this here is no good. That part there is no good for singing, definitely.
Right.
But there is, there's resonance here that is important for the tone of your voice as well. But it's the mixture between what's here, down a bit lower, and that there that creates, what I think is a beautiful.
Yeah, for people that are just listening and vibing off it, Dallas is pointing to forehead and like upper belly. So explain that a bit more, because I'm feeling it. Like the resonance from like your gut up to your forehead, huh?
Yeah, so there is even when you're speaking, there's, I can feel it here already, speaking from your chest, or, from your diaphragm there. And then the higher up you get, as you get up a wee bit higher, we're moving into resonance in the top. And but you're still trying to keep your larynx loose and low. And then moving back up.
Yeah,
And
totally.
there's the difference between, and then somewhere in between, but also effortlessly, all that needs to come out effortlessly. So, I mean,
that's awesome, man. That's totally yoga, what you're talking about.
Right.
Really, nada yoga, of like that resonance from like, even from your root, like your pelvic floor,
Yeah.
And then even like your sex organs and your belly, and like traveling it all the way up and down. That's yoga right there. That's awesome.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, check it out. Nada yoga. And like when we look at using like the didgeridoo and certain shamanic drums and like other sound healing instruments, it's really to get that vibration, that resonance all the way up and down. Yeah. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and so for me, it's connecting the two, coming from all the way up to the top, and then making it smooth when you come down. Just like you say, they call it a bit of an edge as well, but yeah, it really is just about resonance and how to maintain that throughout all your registers, right up top, right down the bottom. Yeah.
And your breathing, do you bring much awareness to your breathing?
Yeah.
Sorry, we're really picking apart your
yeah, no, that's all good actually, and I had to really think what I do naturally there. Not really, not for me. I mean, I'll take a deep breath to begin with, but most of the exercises I do is all on one breath. So, definitely trying to be relaxed beforehand, and then, inhaling probably quite a lot into the diaphragm, and then it's up and down. But yeah, not really. I mean, things like the sun salutes and stuff, that is actually, I think I'm 46 years old, so actually stretching out my legs. I still play basketball, a few other things. So for me, that's where it all began, with the sun salutes. But it become more about the breathing and become more about the rhythm of the stretches. And after a while, really become all about that after a while. So, breathing is what I use to settle myself before shows. So, definitely focus when I'm nervous, and before shows is usually when I'm the most nervous. So, just trying to pay attention to I pay a lot of attention to my breaths when I'm, trying to get into a good state there. But
Cool. Yeah, awesome. Let's go deep before we wrap this up and kind of come back to your song Hope in our current times. I mean, we kind of need a whole lot of hope, don't we? And being a father yourself as well, I know I every now and then kind of just contemplate like, what kind of world are we creating for our kids, and it does seem with your songwriting, you kind of you go deep into those contemplations. I don't know how deep you actually go with it, but let's go there now. Like, what are you seeing for the future ahead?
I mean,
Feeling.
I'm seeing a fairly hard world. Seeing further down the line, my youngest is 7, so you know he's going to experience some hardships. You know, some stuff that we probably are taking for granted right now. But I mean, I also see him and his brother just adapting really well, and yeah, in a way that we can't really comprehend, I guess. Learning to deal with those things. You know, obviously with the time running out for the planet. You know, the hands on the clock are almost at midnight. You know, these things are, I mean, it's hard to believe, really. And I understand why there's so many skeptics out there. It's a hard thing to get your head around, really, isn't it? That there's almost no chance to put things right. But, you know, if there's one thing I know about humans is, you know, they adapt really, we adapt really well. You know, this generation is, you know, I'm very hopeful for this generation. And I feel like in New Zealand, at least, of what I've seen, the children or the young adults, at least, have really started to take it on board as their responsibility. And I feel like they feel like there's no other choice. Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of different attitudes there, you know, different to when I was a kid, you know, when I didn't have to worry about it. I think it's on the list of things that kids need to learn about and to deal with, you know. And yeah, this generation will be very well informed about it. I feel like already that there's you know a movement there within the young people that have
I feel you.
It is a deep question, man.
It's so deep.
Yeah.
Sorry to put you on the spot with
no,
that.
you're totally fine. I mean, it's hard to. I mean, if I have these conversations with Michelle, but you know, my partner, but I have it in a way where I'm really worried, and I'm really, you know, we talk quite seriously about it, and then you know, obviously when we're trying to make decisions on how to bring our children up, you know, that's these are the conversations we come back to, and it's changing all the time. The worse it gets, you know, the more we need to think about how we're bringing up our kids. It's like, you know, well, you know, we can't do that anymore. We actually got to think a bit further down the line.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that. It feels like much needed conversations to get raw and real and honest with it, of how we each navigate it and how we talk about it with our kids. And it is interesting times, and we're all just working it out together. So no, thank you for getting raw and real with that, because what I see a lot in the kind of spiritual community, yoga community, is more often than not kind of like a utopian view of what's ahead, which is great. It's great to be positive and like fully hopeful. At the same time, got to take a deep breath and like, it's heavy, you know, heavy transitional period. And for me, it feels like a balance between like, I can feel when when I really dive into the conversation, it gets serious and worrisome and heavy, and whew, for me, it's a balance of like that. And then like, no, let's cultivate hope, and let's aim big. Like you said, we're an adaptable species, and yeah, hopefully we do get the message, get the call pretty fucking quickly.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
taken us a
freaking
while.
quickly. And yeah, it's a whole lot of stuff is being taken out of our hands. You know, this. I think. Yeah, I just think it's a shame that people with power are still not doing the things that they need to, you know, for sustainability, for the planet, for the people. It's really short-sighted, and yeah, I mean, it's just, I guess it's just whatever works for money, and yeah. Yeah, definitely still hopeful for the kids though, and you know, those attitudes are continuing to evolve and to grow, and so it's hard to say right now what's going to happen, but I feel like my kids at least have a fair idea of what's going on, and
Yeah, beautiful, man.
oh man, too scary.
I know, it's scary.
You know, I mean, the good thing is, you know, these are all things I want to continue to write about, continue to work out myself, and you know, to ask those questions and to keep the questions right there. And yeah,
that's great, man.
How I see my job, really.
It's a powerful job, you know, music and the poetry and the message. I mean, it is powerful. It is powerful, and like we've seen in the past, I mean, it really is medicine, you know, like it really does feel like the musicians of our time, especially in the West, with, you know, religion kind of getting pushed aside, not for the whole part, but for a big part, and kind of traditional shamanism and whatnot. Like it really does feel like musicians, they're kind of like the shamans of the West, you know. And it's very interesting. I was listening to a pretty switched on conversation about like modern day takes on religion, and it's like music really is that, music and drugs, and social media is becoming that. Like when we see people like locked in on their phone, that's becoming the new, like, quote unquote God, which is it's just insane. So like when music can penetrate through that, and we can use these devices in a smart way to wake us up and to switch us on, which is what I feel from your music. That's why I've just been loving what you've been pumping out during this time, because it sparks introspection and hope and connection to the mother. Like you've got several songs that really evoke like reverence for the mother, which we need. I mean, for our own mothers, for the collective mother, for Mother Earth. That's a huge part of what we're going through. Like we've been screwing over mothers for a long time, haven't we? And it's like, as men, we've got a lot of work to do to bring back that love and reverence for mothers, and then for Mother Earth, you know. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys, you've got an awesome role, you know, and I really love that the reverence you pay for your role in the world, you know. Really, the way you put how you're going off for 4 weeks, you really seem to you don't take it for granted, and it's like, no, this is my job. I got to go for it, and it's really cool, really beautiful, and I think kind of possibly a bit rare, would you say? Like, I don't know, I see it as a little bit of a gem, a little bit rare in the kind of pop manufacturing of music. Like, to see someone really go deep with it, it's just awesome.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I mean, this writing project, the 4 weeks away. I'm really treating it as just strictly writing and ideas and not so much songs really, just writing as much as I can. And if a song happens, it happens. Look, I just think now is a really important time for all artists to incorporate some kind of message into their song, some kind of positive message. And if you're not, you kind of got the blinders on, and nobody really wants to hear that, I don't think. I think if anything, the more you become truthful about what's happening at the moment or what's happening at the time that you're writing, the more people will connect with it, the more sales you'll have. It's just, that's not obviously not the reason why I do it. I have always written music like this, and I've always felt like, that is part of the responsibility when you're putting music in. And maybe not if you think that, or the only people you're writing to are, I don't know. I feel like it's music moves you, physically, mentally, and for some people spiritually, the ideas, but just the vibration of music and the feeling of music when an amazing song comes on and the bass hits you, and we've always been about trying to move people with our music. So, it is a powerful thing. And the messages are lasting. They will last, So, that's a responsibility, definitely. I guess with my solo project, though, it's how can I also tell the story of myself and then, also bring people in to connect with that. So, and I think that's probably what I'm going to do by myself.
Yeah, that's really cool. I did want to ask you, you going back to your birth name, which is beautiful. Has that been a bit of a journey for you, or was it just a choice? Or
yeah, it's there was, it was actually quite hard to figure out because I've spent so long just using my stage name. So, but I feel really good about just using my name. It separates, it's a nice separation to, more soul-based, less kind of electronic reggae, 12-minute journeys. We're looking more at songwriting. These are influence. I'm trying to express the influences that I hear on a daily basis, which is beautiful songs. Beautiful songs done soulfully. I listen to a lot of soul music. I listen to, so yeah, it was a tricky situation there. I mean, yeah, but it just didn't feel like Joe Dukie. It felt just like my stuff. So, yeah.
Cool.
I don't know. They kind of feel like two different personalities, but they're not. They're not really. I mean, yeah, they're not really.
No, I hear you. Yeah, that's cool. Well, I'm digging it, and I'm excited to hear more of Dallas. And I'm loving where it's at right now. This new song, well, not so new now, but this latest song, No Flowers, is just exquisite, and the amount of times we've played it already, and we'll continue to. So good luck and blessings for that songwriting time.
No, pleasure.
And really great to connect. And is there anything you want to let our listeners know? Anything in particular? I mean,
Hey,
I'll put all the links below, but
yeah, no, I just want to just thank you for reaching out and getting in contact, and just such a lovely surprise, and really enjoyed my talk with you today, and yeah,
likewise,
thanks heaps.
Yeah, thank you. It's been really great to connect. Yeah, be well, and hope to connect soon.
Much love, bro. Thank you very much.
See you, Dallas. Take care.